This week's live lesson, we are going to talk about giving advice and recommendations. In this week's live lesson, we're going to do some very basic grammar practice with should and should not. And then at the end of the lesson, I have just two quick expressions we use for strong, friendly recommendations and for general advice as well. So I hope that today's lesson can be a good reminder, a good refresher on some very basic grammar points. And if you don't need a refresher, then I hope you just kind of get some interesting ideas. Maybe you can get some interesting tips. I have a couple of tips in part 1 and part 2 that I hope help you to give better advice. So as you join, please make sure to like this video and of course share the video so that other people can find today's lesson. That would be super cool. So it looks like some people are coming already. Hi Jacob and Zara and Stanley and Janming. Hello in the YouTube chat. Welcome. Send a message in the chat as you arrive and I will try to say hello to you as you arrive, but we'll see. There's a lot of people. So while we wait, a couple of super quick announcements as always. First is about this banner at the bottom of the screen which says that you can get a free 2,000 words ebook. So if you have not seen this, our team has created an ebook that has the most commonly used words in it. So if you have questions about what vocabulary you should study next, you can find on this page, which is displaying a little bit weird right now, you can find on this page with if you click the link below the video on YouTube or above the video on Facebook, there it is, you will find this page where you can download our core word ebook. So these, when I say core words, I mean there are words in every language actually that are used so often. They form the core, like the main part of daily fluency, of daily conversation. Yeah? So every language has core words. Every language has the most commonly used words. So our team has created an ebook with 2,000 core words for English. So if you want to make sure that you study the words that are most commonly used and are going to help you be fluent as fast as possible, you can go and download this. Go download this. You should download this. Right now from EnglishClass101.com. You can find the link for this below the video if you're watching on YouTube or above the video if you're watching on Facebook. Oh, sorry, audio problem. I'll fix it. Okay. So, again, if there was echo, this you can find from the link below the video if you're watching on YouTube or above the video if you're watching on Facebook. So check that out, okay? That is announcement number 1. Announcement number 2, as always, if you have questions for me, please send them to me. Please send them to me. Don't put them in YouTube comments. Did you know there's a limit to how many comments I can see on the back end every day? Like I can only go through like 3 days of comments. Did you know that? So when I see comments, it's often just hi. There's like 3 days of hi and thank you comments. So if you put a comment if you put a question in the YouTube comments, I cannot see it. I cannot go through all of the videos every day. There are hundreds of videos, so I can't see all the comments. So if you put a comment in the YouTube video, like comment section, I probably won't see it. Like I cannot. I physically cannot. So please send me your comments for our weekly question and answer series called Ask Alicia. You can find the official question submission page from the link below the video if you're watching this on YouTube or above the video if you're watching this on Facebook. Please send your questions there. I cannot say enough times, stop putting your questions in YouTube comments because I can't check them all. I can't. It's not possible. So please send them to me there. Like it's better for everybody. It's better for everyone involved. So please put it there. So go there and I'll maybe include it. This is a really old screenshot, but you get the idea of the series. So I choose actual questions from you and we talk about them in the series. So make sure if you have one, send it to me, okay? All right, I think that's it. I think everything is ready to go now. Everything looks good. Everything sounds good, I think. Thanks for the comments, everyone. Hi, what's up, Marlene and Alex, Carlos? Your name is in Cyrillic characters. Hello. Natalie, Azimon. Hi, everyone on YouTube. Facebook is also here. What's up, Facebook? Hi, everyone. Up. Facebook, hey Facebook, what's up? Where's the chat? Facebook. All right, hey, Emmanuel, what's up? Jose, hi. I'm going to like and share the video now. If you have not, you can do it with me now. Okay, good, that's shared. So today, we're going to talk about advice. Again, today's topic is giving advice and recommendations. We are going to review a pretty basic grammar point today. So I hope you're excited. Are you excited? I'm excited. Let's get into it. All right, so part 1, let's begin. Should. How do we use should to give advice? Okay, so maybe some of you are like, oh yeah, this is my first year of English study practice, right? So we're gonna talk about this, and I'll give like an intermediate tip in today's lesson too. So first, let's review the grammar pattern. So the grammar pattern we are going to practice today is subject should, infinitive verb. Subject should infinitive verb, right? So your subject is I, you, we, he, she, they, right? Plus should plus infinitive verb. So this is a pattern that we use when we want to say I think it's a good idea to verb, right? I think it's a good idea to verb, right? That's what this advice pattern does. So let's practice with 4 example sentences. You can put your example sentences in the chat, and then I will try to check them. If you are sending me questions in the chat, as I said moments ago, send them to the Ask Alicia question submission page where I can answer them, maybe. Okay, let's go to our examples. So let's break these down. First example, you should watch this movie. You should watch this movie, right? Very basic advice pattern, right? Or recommendation. So let's break down the grammar here. Here's my subject, you. Yeah, you. Here's should, right? And watch is my infinitive verb. You should watch. And then this movie. So this means the thing I am recommending. So in this case, we have something after the verb, right? So we have this movie. You should watch this movie. You can say, I think you should watch this movie. This is a little more direct, right? A basic advice pattern. You should watch this movie. It's great. It's so good. Okay? All right? So let's look at the second one. I think you should apologize. I think you should apologize. In this one, I put I think. Makes it a little softer, right? I think. Okay? And then again, we have the same. You should. You should, right? Same thing. Subject, should, infinitive verb. Apologize. If you don't know this word, apologize. To apologize means to say you are sorry. I'm sorry, right? So as a verb, to say you are sorry is to apologize. I think you should apologize. At native speed, this sounds like, I think you should apologize. That was dumb, right? You did something stupid, you should apologize, right? So this is how we can put this together with our ideas, right? I think you should apologize, okay? Here's another one. Okay, I'm going to talk about this in the tip section in just a minute. So he should communicate better. I'm going to talk about better in a moment, but let's look here first. He should communicate. So in this sentence, our subject is he. Yeah, he, some male person, should, and my verb is communicate. Okay, better means better than now, right? So his communication is this level now, not so good. His communication, we want to be better up here. Yeah? So we use better to express this. I'm going to talk about this in a moment. Okay? Last one. We should exercise more. We should exercise more. Okay? Subject, we, should, our advice word, and exercise is my infinitive verb, plus more. Okay? So let's talk about these two sentences with more and better. I included a tip in today's lesson about these words. So when we use this should grammar pattern to give advice for recommendations, we can use less, more, and better to express improvements to current behavior. So just like I talked about here, he should communicate better. So we want to say the behavior is happening now, right? Like for example, let's look at example sentence 4. Let's look at this. We should exercise more. So this shows us, this sentence, because we have more here, it means we exercise now, okay? But it's not enough. Maybe we exercise once a month, so it's not enough, right? So if we say we should exercise more, that means more than the level now. This is the level now. This is the desired level. Maybe way up here. Super fit. So we should exercise more. This shows the behavior is happening now. We want it to improve. Yeah? Same thing with he should communicate better. That means he communicates now, but it's not very good. Okay? So there's lots of problems, right? So we want it better, right? We use this comparative form. Better shows better than now, more than now. So if it helps you, you could put than now at the end of this to go, oh, that's what that means. And then we can also do this with less, right? So that means the behavior's happening now. We want to decrease, right? We want to decrease that thing. So like junk food, we should eat less junk food. So we eat junk food now, we should eat less of it, right? So when we use these less, more, and better words in these grammar patterns, in this should pattern, we are talking about something we do now that we want to change. We want to improve that in some way. Okay, so this is my tip for part 1. I'm going to check your comments now. Marlene has one. That's nice. You should visit that restaurant. Yes, good restaurant recommendation. Carlos, yes, that's what I want. Communication. Oh, okay. Not an example, but okay. Let's see. Some people I haven't seen before are in here. Gukhan wrote, you should speak English. Oh, you should speak in English here. Yeah, nice one. Good, good. Others, Natalie wrote, we should work hard to get better results. Great. Okay, Facebook, you got any? Facebook, what's up, Facebook? Oh my gosh, so many ads. Okay, Santiago says, you should communicate the good news. Yeah. In that case, I would probably say you should share the good news. Communicate sounds very kind of stiff. You should share the good news, okay? Let's see, other ones. Juan said, you should watch the movie called Serendipity. Okay, or you could just say, you should watch the movie Serendipity, yeah? Ruben wrote, I should spend less money. Okay, great one. Okay. Good. Nice job with should, everyone. So with this in mind, let's take a super quick break and then go to part 2, where we're going to practice the negative form of this grammar. Yeah? So I notice negative form, usually it's a little more challenging. So let's do that. But in case you missed it, our team has a free 2,000 words ebook. So I talked about this at the beginning of the lesson, but if you missed it, I will explain quickly again. If you have not heard of core words, every language has core words. The words that are so common, like they are the most common words in the language, and if you know them, it improves your fluency a lot. So study these words first, and your fluency is like connected to them, right? So if I study a bunch of like strange words, it will be very difficult maybe for me to speak in a daily conversation. But the core words in every language are the words that are used the most commonly. So if you study these first, your chances of fluency improve a lot. So our team has a free ebook with 2,000. So the top 2,000 most commonly used words in English. You can find this from the link below the video on YouTube or above the video on Facebook. You can get this for free. So go and download this. You need your name and your email address to make a free account at EnglishClass101.com, and then you can get this. So go check it out. I hope it helps. Lots of you ask about vocabulary study, so this is a great way to do that. Go do it. You should do it. Okay. Let's get back to our advice patterns for today. And if you haven't, please make sure, like the video. Yeah, it helps others to find the lesson. Okay, let's talk about should not. Okay, should not. Let's practice the negative. I think I've noticed over the years the negative tends to be a little trickier than the positive forms. So let's practice. Okay. So the grammar pattern we are going to practice is very close to part 1. Subject should not, infinitive verb. Subject should not, infinitive verb. So we practiced should in part 1, which means I think this is a good idea, right? So I think this is a good idea. You should do it, right? Here, this means I think this is not a good idea. I don't think this is a good idea, right? How do we express that? So when we say should not in everyday speech, we usually reduce. So reduce means to make it shorter, at least in this case. So to reduce means to make it smaller. We reduce it to shouldn't, okay? So let's practice some should not advice patterns. You can send yours in the chat. I have 4 again, and we're going to break these down. Then I have a tip at the end. So first one. You shouldn't worry so much. You shouldn't worry so much. So again, we have our subject, you. Then we have should not here, the reduced form, shouldn't, yeah? Shouldn't, and then our verb, worry. Okay, you shouldn't worry. Okay, and here at the end I have so much, okay? So we are going to talk about so much in just a moment, but it means in this sentence, you shouldn't worry so much. We talked about it in part 1. The person worries now. The person's level of worry is here. We think, no, it's too much. You shouldn't worry so much, okay? So we're going to talk about this in a moment. Let's look at the second example though, okay? He shouldn't eat so much junk food. He shouldn't eat so much junk food. Subject is he. Shouldn't, here's my reduced should not. Eat is my infinitive verb here. And again, we have this so much, right? So much. So that means he eats junk food now. We want to reduce it. We want it to go down, okay? So junk food, unhealthy food, all right? One more with so much, okay? And then I'm going to talk about it. So they shouldn't make so much noise. Our neighbors, gosh. They shouldn't make so much noise. So here's my subject, they shouldn't, again, the reduced form. So you might think, well, is it okay to say should not? Like, yes, but you will sound like a robot in everyday speech. If I say, they should not make so much noise, it sounds very stiff, yeah? So we usually reduce to shouldn't in these. So if you say should not, it sounds kind of very stiff. So I don't recommend. I mean, it's not wrong. It's 100% correct, but it sounds stiff. So I recommend shouldn't, okay? So they shouldn't make so much noise. So again, the neighbors are making noise. We want them to take it down. It's too much, okay? So let's talk about this so much. This is my tip for part 2. So use so much to express improvements to current behavior, right? So in part 1, we talked about using less and more and better, right? To talk about a current behavior. So current behavior means an action or a behavior that is true now, right? This is something we do now, but we want to change that in some way. So in this example, example number 1, you shouldn't worry so much. This means you worry now. You worry now. Your level is here. It's a lot. Maybe your worry level is here. You should take it down. So you shouldn't worry so much. So we cannot use too much here. I know some of you are going to ask that. You cannot change so and to. They are not interchangeable. I made a video about so versus to. Go watch that. Don't send me that question in the chat. So go watch my video about so versus to. So this is so much. Or rather, you shouldn't worry so much. So that means we want to reduce that current behavior. Same thing here. He shouldn't eat so much junk food. That means the junk food level is here now. We want to reduce it. Same thing with the noise in number 3. They shouldn't make so much noise. Reduce it, right? So we are using this so much to show the behavior is current. This is a behavior that is true now. We want to change. Okay? So if you want more information about so and to, find it in the video I've already created for you. Okay, let's look at the last one. This does not use so much. We shouldn't spend all of our money. We shouldn't spend all of our money. So here's my subject. We have shouldn't here, should not. And spend is our infinitive verb. We shouldn't spend, and then all of our money, right? So these express things we think are not a good idea to do. We can make this nicer with so much, okay? Let me see your examples. All right, Facebook. I will come for you first, Facebook. What's up? Let's see. Here's one. Mio, you shouldn't take your phone in the examination hall. Just put your before phone, yeah? You shouldn't take your phone, or you shouldn't take phones, maybe, depending, in the examination hall. Rosa says, I shouldn't eat so much pizza, okay? Soe says, you should not. What does that mean? Quick, do work. Is that a one sentence? You should not maybe work so quickly, maybe? I don't know. I'm not sure. Let's see. Ruben says, I shouldn't have missed work. Ooh, nice. Different grammar there. Okay. Nice. You have 3. Okay. They shouldn't drink too many beers. Oh, maybe they shouldn't drink so many beers. Okay. So in that one, we're using a countable noun. So many. Yeah. So today I've got junk food here and noise, which are uncountable nouns. So I used so much. If you want to use a countable noun, use so many. They shouldn't drink so many beers. Yeah. So I put uncountable nouns here. But okay. YouTube. You shouldn't use your cell phone so much, says Happy Indy. Nice one. Good one. Okay. Marlene. So he shouldn't talk so much. Yeah. Not too much. So much. Yeah. Make sure that's a so. Ratan, one of our members, hey, says, you shouldn't smoke and drink. Nice example. Okay. Mainland, can it be, I have half a mind to see you do or not something? In this case, I have half a mind to see you. I would not use that in a recommendation or advice pattern. Like, that's kind of like a desire pattern, if I'm understanding that correctly. So no, would be my answer to that. Okay, good. Time's going quick. So this is part 2, should not. So how do we express things we think are not such good ideas? With this grammar. Okay, so great. Let's continue then to a break. If you missed it, 2,000 words for free in our vocabulary study ebook. Check it out from the link below the video if you're watching on YouTube, or above the video if you're watching on Facebook, or maybe it's over here, depending on how you're watching it on Facebook. You can let me know, Facebook. Okay, so we are going to look at one more thing super quickly, and then we'll be done for the day. Then you will be advice masters, if you're not already. Okay, so I have just 2 super quick, I just wanted to include a couple of expressions just for fun that are commonly used and you should know how to use. So the first one I've talked about before is the grammar pattern have to for advice and for recommendations. So of course we use have to talk about our responsibilities, yes. We also use this to give friendly advice and friendly recommendations. You have to, infinitive verb. So let's look at some examples of this grammar pattern. For example, you have to see this, like a movie or an article or some like meme on your phone, some video you saw. You have to see this. So we can use have to in this way, and we usually emphasize the have to with our voice. You have to see this, it's so funny, or you have to see this, it's so beautiful, whatever. You have to see this. Or for a travel recommendation, like come to my city, you have to visit sometime, right? You have to visit sometime. So this have to does not mean you have a responsibility to visit. It's like a strong recommendation, okay? It's like a strong and friendly recommendation, okay? Here's another example. You have to try that dessert. It's so good. You have to try this dessert, right? So we use this have to give those like advice or recommendations, but in a friendly way and a very direct and strong way. So it's very direct, yes, but it's very friendly at the same time, okay? Okay, good. So the last thing, time is always going quickly. The last thing I included was this fun expression, which is don't do it. Don't do it. So you probably have heard this in like movies, like especially action movies, maybe TV shows. So this is an expression we use before we do something risky and or dangerous. So this can be like a Tom Cruise movie, like Mission Impossible level dangerous, or it could just be something risky, something kind of stupid, like you're gonna send a weird text to someone you're romantically interested in, and your friend is like, no, don't do it, like that's so weird, why would you do that? So this is a very, very useful expression. It sounds much more direct, and it's also much closer, more familiar. If you say, you shouldn't send that text, like it sounds like your mom might give you that recommendation. It sounds a little more polite. But if we use don't do it, it sounds really close and direct. So this one is super good to use with friends, people that you're close to. When you see something, you're like, this is not a good idea. Don't do that thing. So this is a great one. You can probably, there are a lot of action movies, I think, that use this don't do it line. So, and you notice, maybe you can see, there's no verb, right? There's no verb here. It's like, don't do what, right? It depends on the situation, right? We can use this in any situation, right? So like when we think it's a bad idea, no, don't do it, don't go in there, right? So this is a very helpful phrase, and it's easy to remember because there's no verb, right? It's just set, okay? All right, I'm looking for your examples now. Marlene wrote, you have to try this dish. Nice one, Marlene. Okay, I was looking for an example from this section. Fanny on Facebook says, you have to study and take notes. You do. Great. Okay. Jenny wrote, you have to walk to work. Okay. Good. PLPI Lukoki on Facebook says, you have to something the money. You need a verb. Yeah? PL. There's no verb there. You have to what? The money. You have to save the money. You have to spend the money. You have to invest the money. You're missing a verb. Yeah? Okay. Rosa, you have to write a notebook. Write in a notebook, maybe? So to write a notebook is like to write a book. That means write all of a notebook. Write all of a book. Yeah? Okay? Ruben wrote, you have to get to work early. Nice one. Ratan wrote, you have to abide by their office rule. Usually rules, because there's more than one. Yeah. Okay. It's time to be done. It's time to be done. It is officially supposed to be the end of the stream, so I have to end it there. So these are some other expressions you can use to give advice and recommendations more naturally. So we don't want to sound so stiff like robots. Yeah? Okay, we're done. I have to end the live stream now, but I'll be back next week as always. So here is next week's lesson information. Next week I'll be back again on September 20th, Wednesday, September 20th at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is New York City time. If you don't know your local time, please Google it, or you can set a notification on YouTube or on Facebook and go crazy. Next week, I'm going to talk about a grammar point. Next week, we're going to review the grammar point would have and wouldn't have. This is a good one to review a couple times a year. A challenging grammar point for many people. So, for example, if I had blah, 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 I would have blah, 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 right? With those if conditionals, yeah? So we're going to practice this next week in next week's live lesson. So join me. You should join me. You should join me. Okay? Alright, so we'll finish there for this week. Come follow me on Instagram if you don't already for all kinds of other stuff I'm up to, and for occasional languagey things too. Don't forget, 2,000 words ebook. Now the lesson is finished, so you can go download and study this now, right? So check this out. You can find this for free at EnglishClass101.com, the 2,000 core words for fluency in English. Our team has created a free ebook, so you should go and get it. It can help you. Okay? I will say goodbye for now. So thanks everybody for liking and sharing this video. Thank you so much for your example sentences and some questions. If you have other questions, send them to me on the Ask Alicia question submission page. So have a great day, have a great week, have a great weekend, and I will see you again